Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And guys, I really want you to watch for Singapore. Just like when I talked to you guys about UK, remember I said all eyes are on the UK. Well, guess what? Now, in my opinion, all eyes should be on what Singapore does next. There's a lot of things happening around Singapore. Recently, one of the largest announcements around Ripple, with XRP included, because this is on-demand liquidity adoption, was the Singapore news, right? With them obtaining an in-principle approval of a major payments institution license from, of course, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which is the central bank of Singapore, moving hundreds of billions of dollars per day. Which was allowing them to offer regulated digital asset products and services and scale customer use of on-demand liquidity. What an announcement, right? But from here on out, we start to see a lot of big things happening. And what were those huge things happening around, of course, the Singapore region? Well, it's very simple. One, Navati. Navati is actually holding an event, or I should say they're at an event with Seamless Asia in Singapore on June 27th through the 28th. Explore trends, tech, and market disruptors shaping Asia's digital economy. Let's revolutionize cross-border payments together. And of course, who's working with Navati? Ripple. Some very large names are going to be at this event in Singapore. In fact, here you guys have the confirmed attendees. Some of the largest banks out there, like Bank of America, HSBC, ING, JP Morgan. There's so many other ones here as well. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. DBS, which is a major name around crypto recently. They're a massive bank, and they've been looking into crypto for a very long time. And of course, a lot of these banks have. And then as you scroll down, there's some major players around e-commerce marketplaces and retailers. These are some of the largest retailers out there. IKEA's here, Adidas, Dyson, you name it. Also, aviation, hospitality, and travel. And then also food and beverage as well. So some pretty large names here. More so, I'm focused on the big banks and telcos and things like that. But yeah, this is a pretty large event, and it is centered in Singapore. And it's all centered around cross-border payments and the future of the digital economy. While, of course, Ripple just announced this massive announcement around Singapore. Coincidence. And then also recently, the IMF. So the IMF went on to say countries banning crypto may not be effective in the long run. No surprise there. I mean, does this really surprise anyone else out there? To me, this is no new news. This is pretty much everything that we've been saying. You know, these countries that can't get behind crypto, it's not going to look pretty for them, especially even the US. I mean, the US is losing a ton of dominance on the technological forefront, and it's all because of crypto. But remember, I talked to you guys about an article from 2017. I know, I get it. This is a very long time ago, but this was 2017. The IMF head foresees the end of banking and the triumph of cryptocurrency. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because if we go back in time and we look at a few of the articles, like for an example, I tweeted this out end of May, and we do see like Christine Lagarde, crypto is worth nothing. This is a CNBC article actually from 2022, nearing the end of May in 2022. So over a year ago now. At that time, Christine Lagarde was saying that crypto is worth nothing, and that she thinks that crypto should be regulated to protect inexperienced investors, and she was just scrutinizing the entire asset class. But then, also, back in 2017, which this is from this article, we did see her say that at some point in time, it puts a question on the fractional banking model we know today, and that this technology itself can replace national monies. It's interesting, right? It's very interesting that these major players like the IMF, going back in time, have always talked about crypto as being this massive disruptor of traditional payment means and even traditional currencies. And today, Now we have the IMF saying, hey, countries banning crypto may not be effective in the long run, which is no new news, like I said, but it's still interesting now that they are flipping around and doing this 180. But also, Dr. Martin Heisboek from Uphold. European Union legislation needed to underpin a digital euro, originally due to be published June 28th, has been put on hold. The move follows the leaking of the draft bill, which covers privacy and technical issues for the central bank digital currency, and a statement by finance ministers that appeared to question the motivation for the plan last week. Now, yes, this legislation for a digital euro is put on hold. In my opinion, like when we really kind of look at this will probably be streamlined within the next couple weeks, maybe even a couple months from now. But legislation is being drafted, it's being created around these CBDCs. It's only a matter of time. And I think that that's exactly why we are seeing the IMF, flipping around and doing this 180 and saying, okay, well, yeah, listen, those countries banning crypto, they're not going to be effective in the long run. And what does this all have to do with Singapore? Very interesting. I will get to that point here in a second. But first, I also want to share with you guys something about Brazil. Because recently, if you go to Ripple's Twitter account and you scroll down, from this tweet going back to the 22nd, so just 2 days ago, they talked about a few CBDC plans. And one, they did mention Brazil. In Brazil, the central bank has announced its plans to launch a CBDC in 2024. But I thought this was very interesting because, one, Ripple was not tied to Brazil at all. Or are they? Anderson went on to tweet out a few images because he was responding to Crypto Insight UK. And when you see definitely possible something going on behind the scenes. And first off, here is the tweet from Crypto Insight UK. And when you see weird how Ripple just slyly mentioned Brazil in their recent tweet about CBDCs after they mentioned Montenegro and how they're working together. Don't forget, I've been flagging 3 countries for years. Is something about to be announced? And here we have, please listen, my eyes are on Brazil, India, and the UK. Something is coming. And yeah, my eyes have been on the UK, Brazil, and Singapore. India is definitely large as well, but I think that there's no question that Ripple is working with India very closely. Of course, we've talked about that in the past. I think everyone's eyes should be on what's happening outside of the US. I even said it, like, outside of the US, listen, things are moving very fast. It does not matter what the SEC is doing, saying, I don't care what the SEC does. Everyone needs to focus on things happening outside of the US. And here we have made a firm commitment to placing ourselves at the forefront of crypto technology and innovation. This is from the UK's Ministry of Finance. And up here, we have a few things around Brazil. Yes, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know of today. A lot of NDAs and things like that. But that's also why we need to look into the documents and the PDF files behind these sort of things. But we do see Ripple and Brazil's central bank hold closed meeting to discuss institutional matters. This was June 3rd, 2020. From there on out, we've seen this. Partner Solutions, Director, Central Banks, in, of course, Brazil. Interesting. Job posting by Ripple. Over here, from August of 2022. Ripple partners with Travelex Bank to bring crypto-enabled payment solutions to Brazil. Travelex Bank, the first in the country to operate exclusively in foreign exchange, has partnered with Ripple to improve cross-border flows for their customers using Ripple's, what is that? On-demand liquidity, which again utilizes and underpins XRP as the currency of choice within that solution. This partnership marks the start of crypto-enabled payment solutions in Brazil. Travelex Bank is a 100% digital and 100% personal bank. We were the first exclusive foreign exchange bank approved and regulated by the Central Bank of Brazil. Very interesting. Again, at the same time that Brazil is moving forward on a CBDC. Then also over here, retail CBDC. What's happening around the globe? Well, Brazil working with Ripple to build a prototype. All of the connections align perfectly with Ripple to be a part of Brazil's CBDC initiatives. And I know what people are going to say. Nick, how can you be bullish on CBDCs? What the hell is going on with you? Don't you know that CBDCs are, control and blah, blah, blah? Listen, I've addressed this problem many times. Central banks will win. It's inevitable. You're not going to stop them. So you might as well get rich off of the backs of these central banks because it's coming, whether you like it or not. And at least now we can invest into pieces of the puzzle that are being put together in front of our face. That way, when we do get wealthy, we could help those that couldn't see this and possibly even, bring them along with our journey, debunking and tying everything together and really kind of looking into what's happening around this financial system. At that point, it might be too late for most people to get in, but hey, at least we can try to help those and make the world a better place through the wealth that we do create by being a part of this massive innovation. But also, I do want to talk to you guys about another major stepping stone around Singapore, because I brought this up because I thought that this was very interesting. Just like there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes in Brazil, well, let's go over here. So this is something that I just recently posted on Twitter. This is from June 21st. This happened literally the same exact day that Ripple got this license. The IMF, Amazon, and JP Morgan make their mark in Singapore's digital asset space. Okay, so the IMF just did a 180 on digital assets and crypto. But this is happening in Singapore, and it's around the digital asset space. The same day that Ripple gets granted this license. Wild. Within this, okay, I have this white paper open over here. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of information within this white paper. I can't go over everything. Just know that they do talk about a lot of digital assets that could be utilized in the future, talking about stable coins and things like that. One of the biggest things that I've focused on is the solutions and some of the things that they've looked at in terms of the efficiencies, which were the potential uses: prepaid packages, online commerce, contractual agreements, commercial lease, trade finance, donations, cross-border payments, all of these big areas that we've been focused on. And again, like, this is all centered out on CBDCs and things like that. They also do outline the platform and how the platform will look. This is the system architecture overview. And you have the access layer, the service layer, the asset layer, and even the platform layer. And you can see, guess what they have on here? They have derivatives, which is that it's like a $600 trillion plus market. But you have purpose-bound money, which is this document, which is digital money. And it's between the service layer and the asset layer. And you have CBDCs, stablecoins, tokenized bank liability, everything tied to this. And it's all centered out on DLT and non-distributed ledgers as well. But this is wild because this comes at the same exact time that Ripple got the approval in Singapore. Not saying that Ripple is tied to this at all. I'm just saying that it's pretty interesting that Singapore is now becoming a major player around digital asset and crypto innovation. And what do you say? According to the MAS, smart contracts, well-regulated stablecoins, tokenized bank liabilities, and central bank digital currencies could act as mediums of exchange in the new crypto era. Nevertheless, their usefulness must be shown above and beyond the current e-payment networks. The report also noted that digital money seeks to be a game changer through programmability features, but this is subject to debate and discussion. As investors and leading banks continue eyeing the crypto sector, the MAS believes a uniform standard should be incorporated in the digital asset sector. As a result, the financial watchdog suggests the rolling out of the purpose-bound money concept, which was introduced during Project Orchid. The program intends to make digital money readily available in the future through a robust blueprint and digital infrastructure. Guys, I want you guys to understand that things are happening very, very fast. And the same exact player, the MAS, that is, guiding this entire initiative, talking about the future around digital money and digital infrastructures, is the same exact central bank that gave Ripple this license around these digital asset products and services to scale customer use of on-demand liquidity around cross-border payments and things like that. It is so clear to me that Ripple is tied to these major elites. This is why I said Ripple is a chosen company, and XRP is a chosen asset. But also, we do see down here that therefore the PBM design will not depend on any technology. As a result, it will work across distinctive assets and ledgers. A PBM consists of two main components: a wrapper that defines the intended use and an underlying store of value that serves as collateral. This design allows existing digital money to be deployed for different purposes without altering its native property. Meanwhile, a CBDC development continues to gain steam. They literally mention Ripple's efforts have not gone unnoticed. I'm telling you guys right now, as we look at Ripple, they are becoming a major player around these CBDC platforms. And guess what? Their platform enables financial institutions and governments themselves to enhance the issuance, as they do say down here, of their own digital currencies and stablecoins. This is why I think that a lot of these central banks are already working with Ripple on this initiative. And that's why I think that Ripple is becoming a major player. But all of this has been summed up, and I even said it over here. You know, some big moves are happening around Singapore. Ripple expanding on-demand liquidity use with XRP through an MPI license with the MAS, IMF, Amazon, and JP Morgan recently collaborated on technical white paper regarding the utility around digital assets. No mention of XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, etc., but still very interesting. White paper mentions that digital monies could come in the form of CBDCs, tokenized bank liabilities, or well-regulated stablecoins. It also outlines the use cases of digital currencies in areas like trade finance, real estate, cross-border payments, and more. The IMF just recently announced that banning crypto is not beneficial in the long run. Seems as though they are getting ready to do a full 180. Utilization of certain assets will happen in time, and I am ready. Are you? And here you guys have all of the screenshots. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. The big question is, when do you think that this is all going to happen? Because in my opinion, I think that the next decade is going to be very interesting in terms of the technological revolution and evolution that's going to happen around these specific assets and this entire asset class. And guys, I'm very, very excited. I know that a lot of people can't wait. I know that the impatient out there are already probably getting itchy a little bit. They're saying like, when's the price going to go up of these assets? I want you guys to understand that, yeah, we will still have those liquidity cycles every 4 years. Just like usual. I mean, until it changes, of course. The liquidity cycles can change, and I even talked about that. Like, things can happen sooner rather than later around liquidity. But for the most part, I'm here for the big technological boom. And I think that we will see that very similar to, the .com era. I think that we will see that just like we've seen in the past for crypto. And I think that's going to be a lot larger here because we're talking about disruption of actual currencies and financial systems. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As is up to you all, have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.